is
This
going,
conference will now be recorded.
what kind of a problems it is going to solve, how it is different than what the existing model in the market. We have various kind of products, right? How it is different than, uh, and also you will understand how exactly we are going to drive this course. At the end of the training program, what kind of skill set you are going to gain, that is also you will get the clarity. At the end of the today demo, if you have any technical questions, anything related to the data engineering and Azure Fabric, anything, I'm happy to answer all your questions, team. So let me give you the brief overview that some of you who are very new to the data science or data engineering related roles. So as you know that irrespective of whatever the role you are, we are all working as a software developers. Maybe your designation might be different, but you are going to solve the various kind of real world problems, right? You are going to solve various kind of real world problems. When you want to define a problem, okay, when you want to define a problem, you should have a data, okay? You should have a data and you should provide some kind of analysis on the data, and that will give you the opportunity to provide a solution for you. This is what exactly the software development, irrespective of whatever the domain. You should define a problem statement and you analyze it and you provide a solution. And over the years of development in the software industry, people realize the importance of the data. It's not about identifying the a solution for a problem. We can able to predict what is going to happen in the future. People can able to come up with various kind of assumptions, and they can able to make futuristic solutions. So, for example, right now you can understand the IoT related applications, generative AI, all these things which are very popular in terms of job market today. But the behind to create all those kind of applications, the data is going to play an important role. The way how the Tesla is going to respond for a driverless car, the way how exactly the automation works down the line, all those things are going to happen because of the data analysis only. But the problem here is the previously we have the data is stored in one place, like on premises, we can say in a technical terminology, where we can say that an organization is going to, it has a lot of data in their organization. They maintain their servers, and from there exactly they can give the expose to the customers. The problem here is over the period of improvement in the organizations, they realize that importance of the distributed environment. So you no need to store the entire data in a single place, and also you may need to interact with multiple data sources. So it is going to be one of the challenging factors. So people felt that how exactly we can make more simplified solutions when we are going to work with a distributed environment. That is where exactly cloud applications came into the picture. There are so many cloud service providers are available in the market today. Some of the popular, I can say that AWS, Azure, and GCP, which you might have heard about so popularly. So these are the cloud service providers are there. Basically, in order to provide you this security, scalability, resiliency, and all for your applications, people will migrate from on-premises to the cloud. Okay, even if you move to the cloud also, interacting with a distributed environment. When I say distributed environments, I mean to say that data is there in a different servers, in a different regions, different time zones. How exactly you can able to get the data into a single platform, that is going to be a challenge for the data engineers. So that's the reason why we, right, there is one of the popular terminology, people will who works with the data, we can say that ETL processing. When I say ETL, in the sense they are going to extract it and they are going to transform the data and they are going to load into the particular server. For example, if I say that we have a three different data servers are there, okay, as a ETL developer, what exactly you are going to do, you are going to take care about some kind of a pipeline you can create from these three servers. Okay, you can create some kind of a pipeline from these three servers, and you can transform your data. Okay, I mean to say that you want to do some kind of processing, so that that processed data only you want to store it in a particular server. Okay, let's say, so after transformation you are going to store it in a particular server, and that particular server you are going to consider for come up with various kind of insights, like you can make some kind of a data analytics related applications you can able to develop. This is generally a regular, I can say that a regular ETL developers will do. They can fetch the data from the different sources. These data sources might be in a different data formats. Let's say that it is a relational data, and this might be a non-relational data. This is entirely, we can say that some kind of a files. Okay, irrespective of whatever the format you have, you are going to extract the data, and you are going to transform that particular data, and you are going to store the data in a particular server. And whatever you have stored, again you are going to do the uh, visualization graphs in the form by using the tools like Power BI or Tableau. The data analytics engineer is going to play an important role. If you look at here in the different stages, what exactly people are going to do here, there is lot of connectivity is required. I mean to say that from one role to another role, I mean, who are going to create this pipeline? Okay, who are going to create this pipeline for extracting the data from, be it as from on premises or be it as from a different source. They are going to work with creating the pipeline. For that purpose, we have a, I'm going to restrict this discussion more on the Azure cloud. So we have a ADF, which is a Azure Data Factory. By using the Azure Data Factory, we are going to create the pipelines. The pipelines, I can say that that might be from on-premises to cloud, or else from one blob storage to another blob storage, or else blob storage. When I say blob storage, and the sense the data is there in the CSV format or JSON format or any file format, again you are going to create a pipeline and store it to the another file. When I say blob storage to one relational database, I mean to say that from CSV file, I'm going to create a pipeline and I'm going to store it in the one of the database. Okay, you can say that it is a Azure SQL or else any other relational database. Just for you to understand, the people who don't know what is mean by the relational database, the data is going to store in a tables in the form of a rows and columns. You are very clear aware that how exactly a row field is defined. I mean to say what type of the data, what is the size of that field, everything is predefined in the relational databases. And also when you create those kind of a tables, you are going to create certain kind of a relationship between one table to another table. Similarly, you may need to create a pipeline from multiple relational DBs, okay, multiple relational DBs to a single data source, okay. You are going to create from multiple relational DBs to another single DB. You are going to create the pipeline. Like that you can, or else that is an event stream. Okay, event stream, like right? There is a cricket match is going on every second. The data is going to be updated. So there should be a pipeline will be created so that we are going to fetch the data. That data we are going to store in the database. It's not about just a, I just took the example for the event stream of cricket. Anything real time is you want to fetch the data, we can say that that is an event stream, live event stream. We are going to create the pipeline. So these kind of pipelines people will create. Once the pipeline is created and you store the data in the data store, okay. Let's say that you have a one data storage, and here you need to perform the transformation. So you want to transform according to your requirement. So I don't want this particular data. I am interested more on the stocks which are performing in a particular domain. If I have a stock market data, I have a particular domain only for this particular market. I want to see the stocks in the last 5 years which has a PE is more than market PE. Like that, I want to filter, I want to transform the data. Once I transform the data, I want to present that one to the some kind of leaders in the business groups. They don't care about what the data I have. They're If you want to make them more as impressive, if you want to make them as a they can understand very easily, visualization graphs are going to play an important role. When I say visualization means you can present them in the form of a graphical charts, be it as a pie charts, line charts, bar charts. For that purpose, by default, Azure is going to provide you the tool called as a Power BI. Okay, Power BI. By using the Power BI as a data analyst, you can able to present your business insights in a more informative manner, so that the graphical charts will make the people can understand more better way about what kind of a observations you have made from the data. This is how generally in a regular I can say that in a regular ETL applications will work. In this context, you can see that in order to make this kind of pipeline, we have Azure Data Factory, and also we have, in order to do the transformation, we have a Azure Synapse Analytics. Okay, we have a Azure Synapse Analytics. In order to storage the data, we have Azure Data Lake. So that anybody is working, he should be collaborate with the people who are working in the pipeline setup, the people are who are managing the data, Azure Data Lake storage, the people are who are working with Power BI. All these people are interconnected and they should have an interdependence each other. So this is where exactly Azure is coming with a robust solution which can solve these kind of. They want to avoid these kind of dependencies. Okay, they want to avoid these kind of dependencies. That is the solution called as a Azure Fabric. Okay, Azure Fabric. Please understand, Azure Fabric is a solution which can avoid. The problem here is when you have a multiple data sources or data dependencies, there is lot of redundancy and interdependence with each other. So whereas Azure Fabric, the solution, they are going to provide a single platform. Okay, they are going to provide a single platform where we are able to get a single source of the data. We don't have any kind of a dependency irrespective of who is working in the pipeline. The data is there in a single component that can we can say that one lake. Let me create a high level architecture so that visually you are able to understand what is the Azure Fabric architecture, so that you can understand in a more better way. After that, I can say that industry point of view, in terms of the business point of view, what kind of advantage it is going to be created. So let me take a rough empty diagram here. So as I mentioned previously, the tools which are available in the Azure Fabric, these are all not new. These are all, it is going to utilize the existing tools only. The only advantage is you are going to get everything in the single environment. When I say that data warehouse, okay, data warehouse, you are going to get the data factory, you are going to get the Synapse Analytics, you are going to get the Power BI. Okay, so these all the tools are available in the single environment. behind this it has a serverless computing engine where you can able to interact, okay, where you can able to interact with various kind of data engines. Let me make it that is also here for you. So this is basically one of the serverless compute where you can interact with let me put here you can interact with the Spark data intensive related applications. We can use the PySpark. Okay, generally we can use those PySpark as a serverless computing, so that we can able to directly able to interact any particular component here. And also we can use the TSQL or KSQL or analytic services also available as part of the serverless computer. But most of the scenarios, people we may go and prefer to go with the PySpark, which is very popular, especially for the data intensive applications. Not only about interacting with the data sources and getting the access to them, it is going to take care about the security. It is going to take care about the access management also. For that security layer also they have established so that it is seamless for you at from a single point, whether you want to provide access to any particular user and what kind of access you need to provide. Down the line, if you want to remove those kind of access, that is also going to be taken care as part of one security. Okay, as part of one security. Finally, we have the one lake, which is basically your storage point of view, where it is going to take care about the whatever the data storage you want to have, be it as a relational DBs. Let me define here. This is considered as a one lake. Okay, it's a single source where we can make your where you can make your data lakes here, and also you can make. Let me write it here, where you can write it as a warehouse, where you can write lake house, and you can make it as a data set. I can say that Cosmos DB. These are all. So this is basically in a high level architecture, I can say, as a Azure Fabric. You can see that instead of a different services, each and everything, be it as Azure Data Factory or Synapse Analytics, Power BI, these are the different services provided by your Azure environment. Instead of having them as a separate, Azure, Azure, Azure Fabric is going to provide you all those solutions in a single environment, so that especially people who are working with the data and the data analysis, it is going to provide you the easy for them to access the data. You don't have any dependency, because irrespective of whoever works on the pipeline, whoever is going to do the on the Synapse analytics side, whoever is going to work on the storage, they are going to store entire data in the one lake. They are going to store the entire data in the one lake. From the one lake, you are able to access the data for your Power BI tool. You don't have any kind of a dependency with respect to the engineer who is working on the pipeline, because end of the day you no need to create one more pipeline to access that one. If you look at the existing architecture of whatever is available right now, for everything again you have to create a one sink and source. If somebody has created a pipeline, there is a source is available. For that source, if you want to access that one, again you need to create a pipeline so that you can able to access that data. But here, it that kind of a dependency you are avoiding. Everything is stored in a one lake, so that you can able to access it directly. The challenge here is, if at all you are working in a different environment, for example, in a real-time projects, you have a different environment, be it as a dev environment, EAT environment, and production environment. That job also, it is going to make it very clear here. You just create different workspaces in the Azure environment, so that the different workspaces is going to classify your data for each and every environment. I mean to say that for the development, you can create one workspace. For the production, you can create a different workspace, so that there is a classification for you, different environments for your data. Am I making sense for everybody? Is the basic architecture of Fabric is clear for everyone?
I have a small doubt, Venkat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, workspace mean you mean to say we can create in our an Azure or what exactly like?
I'm referring about in the Fabric workspace.
Oh, Fabric workspace for the differentiating for the multiple environments.
Exactly.
Okay. As of now, like in a ADF and these are like the warehouse or data factory, anywhere we normally used to sync the data, then only we can get the data, updated data, and then we project in a Power BI. Now you are saying yes, we no need to sync up the data, we directly get that data from all these sources to Fabric. How can it will communicate? Is there any only one leg will communicate to that different sources, or how it will communicate the Fabric from these many sources?
See, from all the sources, the data is going to store in the one lake
Okay,
automatically.
common lake for that everything. Like for example, Data Factory, Synopsys, Power BI, everything they'll use the one common lake. That's what you are saying.
Exactly.
Okay, from that point, it will take as an input source, and it will get the data, and it will show and
In
give
the
the dashboards in a Fabric.
correct.
Okay.
So you
How
don't
about
need.
the security for the one lake?
Yeah, I'm coming there. I'm coming
Oh,
there.
got you, got you. Yeah, sorry.
Exactly, going to provide you the security also for you. So
Okay.
I just make it.
Uh,
Yeah, go
Venkat,
ahead.
sorry to stop you. These pipelines, right? You are talking about Fabric. Can we create any of the pipeline for the Fabric as well, or not required?
In the Fabric only, we are going to create all the pipelines. For example, you want to ingest any data, inject any data, be it as from on premises to or a different data source. There only you are
Mhm.
going to create the pipeline.
Okay. In that case, like we no need to like maintain like Data Factory ADF pipelines over there, or we can do for that pipeline is different for to ADF processing, and this Fabric pipeline is different.
See, Fabric is basically one environment where you have the option of ADF. You are going to
Oh.
create a pipeline, okay, from the different
Mhm.
sources. Once you sync the data, that data automatically going to sync into the one lake.
Okay. Okay.
So that
Got
on
you.
top of that, you are going to again, when you want to do some kind of synapse analytics, you will get, you want to do some transformation, you will get the data from the one lake.
Okay. Got it. Either vice versa, Fabric also we use the same one lake. If I want to make it synopsis analysis, there also if I want to do the pipeline, then I can use the same one lake.
Exactly.
Okay, got you. Thanks for that.
So one more question.
Yes, sir.
So how can like one person can like run the pipelines without any user being present? Because we need like a specific user to run the pipelines right in the fabric. So how can we run those in the this one like for the fabric?
You mean to say their pipelines will be in a different way. I mean to say that you can run the pipeline periodically. I mean, if you give the like once in a day or twice in a day or weekly once, we can schedule the pipeline so that automatically the pipeline is going to be executed. Is that what you are asking, sir?
Yes, sir. That's my question. Yeah.
Yeah. See, the pipelines, it's not one-time job. If you want to schedule it, you have the option of scheduling, right? You can give the option, automatically it is going to schedule. If at all it is a event stream, okay, if it is a event stream, we can give that when exactly that event stream needs to be stopped. That you are going to do. Event stream is going to be like it's a live data. If you want to fetch, that is also you can give. But I can say that in a real-time use cases, event stream will be very less. I can say that the opportunity for you to work is very less, but most of the times it is a scheduling will come. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If the live data event occurs, mean whenever the new event is, came to that, it automatically trigger it, or how it will work in a live streaming.
No, I mean, say, when I say event stream means, for example, there is a stock market event is happening, like you know that every day 9 to 5 or whatever the
Yes.
time zone. So in that particular duration time, if you want to continuously, you want to pull the data, you want to get the data, you want to store it in a particular storage. Those kind of scenarios I am referred as an event stream.
Okay, at that time also, do we have any intervals do we require to get the data, or else, for example, my scenario, because as a I am from the DevOps background, right? At that time, normally, like whenever the new event occurred in a code base, normally the pipeline will trigger. Here, how it will be taken as like for the stock market, do we have any intervals will follow, or else when are the new every 30 minutes or every 15 minutes or every minute it will get the data and it will give it to the fabric, how it is going through?
It no need to occur any new event, continuously it will fetch the data. The only comparison is if it notice that there is no difference, for example, it will identify certain fields. If there is no difference between previous event and current event, it will cache the same data. If there is a
Okay.
difference, like it will identify the timestamp something. If it is a different, then it will fetch the data.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Also, one more thing.
Yes.
Normally, in case of ADS, we normally have like the APIs like connected to the same pipe, like not for the same software development kit, like as a pipeline for the ADS.
Correct.
Whereas in Fabric, how is it gonna work? So like for the API something, are we gonna run like the same API, like the protocol and everything, or it's gonna be like a different
It is
cross-sectional?
it is exactly the same way. Okay.
Okay.
You have, if you want to get, you have to have API, and the same way you are going to create the pipeline. It is only thing Fabric is making you easy is in a single environment where all services are available, and data source is the unified. So I mean to say that in a single source you have the entire data. That's the advantage it is going to make. In terms
Okay.
of pipeline, fetching the data, ingestion, everything is same.
Okay.
Any other questions from any one of you? Fine then. Let me make you in terms of what exactly Fabric is going to make us advantage in terms of security, in terms of business savings, in terms of scalability of applications. So please understand that one of the challenge in real time we will face is providing the access to the user. So, I mean, more technical terminology, I can say that identity and access management. What kind of a roles is given for a particular user, and when we need to remove that user, all those things are going to be challenger. As a single platform, you may imagine that you don't need to give a separate role for a user for a data warehouse or a data factory or Synapse Analytics. Once user gets the access to the one lake, he will automatically get the access for the remaining all tools. Down the line, if you want to restrict or if you want to remove or manage the, any particular user role, so in a single point of the role, you are able to do that one. So that is the major advantage. We can avoid the identity and access management duplicacy. Second thing is managing the data. Every time whenever you create a pipeline, you have to create a storage. From that storage, another resource needs to get the data. So there is a lot of redundancy and a duplicacy of the data in the current environment. By going with one lake, you are going to avoid that one, because once you sync the data, automatically it will be available in the one lake. That is going to be a single source for all the applications. You don't need to create uh, one more data source for doing any kind of activity. From just one lake, you can access it, so that you can avoid duplication of the data storages in your environment. And also, when it comes to the scalability point of view, as a single source, sometimes it's challenging for you. How do you address the issue of a scalability? So that understand that Azure Fabric is going to provide you the, whenever there is a demand, okay, whenever there is a demand, whenever there is a lot of services are accessing your data source, there is no waiting period. Automatically it is going to provide you that kind of a workloads effectively, so that as a whoever is managing the data source, you don't have any challenge of scalability of your application. It is going to be automatically, it is going to scale, and it is whatever the on-demand request is going to come, all the request it is going to be addressed. And also another thing is, whenever there is a failover recovery, with some reason, okay, with some reason something is happened, and you don't able to get the data, it has a self failover recovery, so that automatically it will identify that system where exactly failure happened. Immediately it is going to overall, it is going to come up the data, applications are up based on the cache of the data, where it has automatically it will come to the previous state, and it will be available for the all the request whatever it is going to be accessed. That is one more major advantage when it comes to the Azure Fabric, automated failover and recovery. And also the major thing is container support. As you know that these days most of our applications are working on the containers, because once applications are moved as a microservices, establishing the a container support is primary criteria. That's the reason why Azure Fabric is going to provide you the not only supporting the traditional microservices, and also it is going to provide you the container hybrid model, so that you have a lot of flexibility in terms of the developing the any kind of microservices by utilizing the Azure Fabric. And also I can say that most of the services, whatever we are going to provide, those are the, it is going to allow you the data uniquely in the stateful manner, so that across all the applications, whenever we are going to make data access, it doesn't care about from where exactly we are accessing, but we have a single source of the data. That's the reason why we can maintain the consistency across the all the data requests whatever you made. You don't have any kind of retry options. So automatically you will get the accurate data only in the request. These are the some of the uh, performance related, like automated failover recovery, scalability, and also containers usage, and also avoiding the duplication of the data storages will make larger impact, especially the business point of view. In terms of the invest, when applications are running in the cloud environment, resource utilization is going to be, each and every resource utilization will be the higher charges generally cloud providers will charge, right? So that if you avoid all these things, if you provide these kind of services, you can imagine that organization will save a lot of money in terms of the resource utilization. So that will be the key point when it comes to the Azure Fabric. We can we can optimize our resources utilization. That is one of the advantage. These are the things which I can say in terms of high level advantages what exactly Azure Fabric is providing. And also when it comes to the if I dig into the deeper, I mean to say that how exactly the containers like Kubernetes are different than Azure Service Fabric, and also how exactly we are using the ECS, and in AWS environment we have ECS, right? How exactly it is comparison to the Azure Service Fabric, how exactly it is different than each and every scenario. I can say that it is going to be it is a uniform solution, where exactly we can utilize the resources more efficiently, as well as you don't have any interdependence with other resources. That is how exactly it is going to make a bigger advantage, especially the data analytics area. And also it is going to create the good impact, I can say that, as a service provider. If you have any specific questions other than whatever I have discussed right now, let me know. I'm happy to answer your questions, team.
Yeah. This like the auto failures, right? How
Yeah.
it will able to efficiently manage that auto failures? Like, do we have any mechanism inbuilt for the fabric, or how it is?
Sir, in by default in the Fabric, if there is any failover happens, it has a previous version, so that immediately it will
Oh,
automatically, it will make the previous version is available, so that it will auto solve the issue.
Got it. If the new version is not coming through, then it will automatically take that old version and it will give the data. But
Exactly.
how it will get the latest data with the old version means we have a old data itself, right?
No, it's not. It's not about old data or previous data. I mean to say that there is some failure happened, irrespective of whatever the reason. Okay, if
Mm-hmm.
the failure happened, immediately the working version is available, right? It is going to get that working version. It will be available for your requester. I'm not
Oh,
talking about the data.
okay, got it, got it. And this IAM part, right? Identity access management.
Yes.
How do you manage? Maybe I missed that point. Can you please repeat that one more time if you don't mind?
Sure, definitely. For example, in today's Azure environment, if you want to provide access to the ADF, or else if you want to provide Synapse Analytics, generally what we will do, we will allow the user, we will create a role, and that role will provide the access to the only Synapse Analytics, or else we will provide the ADF, or else we will provide the Power BI.
Yes.
Instead of providing the role for each and every service, you are going to provide the access to the Azure Fabric. When you provide the access for Azure Fabric, automatically all services will be automatically you will get it as a single place. If you want to make in a single service as a role and you want to restrict him to what to access, what not to access, that is also you can do. But only I'm trying to say that instead of providing a specific service access, you are going to provide as Azure Fabric role so that he will get the access for all the services which are part of the Azure Fabric.
Okay. In Fabric, like if we provided that contributor role, then he can do everything in Fabric. Or else if he can reader means he can able to just read
Yeah,
option. That's
read
what,
access,
right?
read or
Oh,
view access, we can do that one.
okay. Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions from any one of you?
Okay.
Yeah. Let me tell you in terms of my way of execution of the course. Yes, this is a 100% practical course. We don't have any kind of theoretical stuff, or I'm going to talk more on the theory, or going to present it in the PowerPoint or nothing. Each and every session, whatever we are going to take it, it is going to be purely a practical sessions. From the day one itself, we are going to make we are going to see the Azure environment. We are going to create the pipelines. We are going to create the different services usage. How we are going to do, you are going to understand. I'm not going to teach anything on the theoretical stuff like uh, running some PowerPoint, those kind of things. It's not. Second thing is in terms of the learning, in terms of what you can gain by end of the training program, I can say that I'm going to cover on the Python by focusing on the data analytics. Okay, how exactly various kind of Python modules or libraries are available in order to do the data analysis. It's not for the web developer. Maybe one session I may give the Python introduction and some kind of data types and basic understanding on Python, but the focus will be the data analysis module libraries, what exactly it is providing, what kind of methods we can use to do the data analysis by using the Python. And also we are going to cover the SQL. SQL is in order to perform the basic queries on the data, we are going to understand the SQL various kind of queries here. After that, we are going to use the Azure data engineer set, where you are going to understand as part of the Azure Fabric only, you will understand the Azure data factory, how to create the pipelines, as I mentioned, blob to blob, blob to SQL, or else multiple SQLs to another SQL storage. Like that, these kind of pipelines you are going to be created. And also you will understand the Azure Synapse Analytics. And previously we have a Azure Databricks basically. I can say that I used to teach in the community edition of Databricks, that we are going to avoid here. So we have a one lake, and also you are going to utilize the Power BI, where the Power BI you will understand about how to draw various kind of real-time dashboards by taking the data directly from the one lake. So these are all the concepts which you are going to understand in depth, and also each and everything whatever I discuss in the session and implement it, you are going to do that one in the offline also. These are the things which I can suggest. And also at the end of the training program, I will set this set of interview questions for you, especially in the real-time scenarios, what kind of questions you can expect in the interview and how to answer those kind of questions. I will share those interview questions also as part of this training program. This is what you can expect as part of my course. And these sessions are, when it comes to daily, it is going to be like a 1 hour session. And if it is a weekday, I think it is 5 days a week. You don't have any sessions on the Saturday and Sunday. And Saturday and Sunday, I will provide you some assignment. You have to work at your end. I will review that one, and if you stuck anywhere, I'm happy to guide you. And once we are back on Monday, that is how exactly we are going to drive this course. Okay. That is about what the topics and how exactly I'm going to drive the course. And if you have any other questions, please let me know.
Yeah, Venkat, like from my side, do we have any prerequisite for this learning the fabric? Like, who is the best person to learn, and any prerequisites, or do we have any dependencies? This guy only learned that who are came from the development or network or testing. Do we have that required, or any person can do here, or we can learn the any development stuff here?
As of now, for this particular course, I'm not expecting any prerequisite. If they have a basic understanding about what is a software development, that is fine. If someone have a knowledge on SQL, Python, that is going to be added advantage for them because they can understand it better about when we are talking about certain terminology. But it's not a mandatory.
Okay. Will you provide like Python? I mean, including here, like how
Yeah,
much paper you will cover here?
I will start from very basic, like what is a Python, how to install Python. From there, I will start.
Okay. Until that is a intermediate level or advanced level, you will teach in a Python.
Python, we will teach certain level that which is required for the data analyst role, because I'm not focusing on a web developer role. If at all web developer role, then I may need to introduce you the Django. Django is one of the framework for Python which is very popular. Instead
Yes,
of
yes.
I immediately after introducing the Python and basic structure of Python, I will jump into the Python libraries. In the Python libraries like Pandas and those NumPy, I am going to introduce you some of the methods, how those methods will helpful for you to do some kind of a data processing. That is where our focus more.
Okay. Thanks for that. And will you able to cover it up any basic stuff of Scala?
Scala is not part. Scala,
Okay.
I don't see any. I mean, just making it clear. I don't see any use in this context. Scala, but I'm not going to cover the Scala.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm asking like in real world, right? Some people they are looking because they everyone they are good with the Python, but nowadays like some people are they're looking for who are good at Scala. Also, they're asking as part of that. Just for that, simply I'm asking. Yeah.
If I say
Uh,
Scala again, they should have some certain knowledge about the Java, JVM, how it works and all. It's going to be a different thing again. Yeah.
Okay. You will
Yes, sir.
cover it
Sir,
up
one,
data factory and
Yes, sir.
what else you are going to cover?
Yeah, we are going to cover the Azure Data Factory, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Lake, and we are going to cover the Power BI and One Lake, sir.
Okay. All the pipeline setup and from the scratch itself, you are going to cover it up, right?
Yes, yes, from the scratch.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Somebody else is asking something.
okay. So by the way, is there a possibility for you, like, to start training from like a basic sample, like, real-time project, like a skeleton project, because we'll get to know how we are getting started and how, we'll get to know right from the beginning itself. So while working with the project, we can actually get to know some skills as well as some, like, requirements and all this. Just
Yes,
like
sir.
a random.
It is going to be like from the scratch only. Okay, it is going to be from the scratch only.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it is going to be from scratch only. Okay. Any other questions, team?
How about the containerization part here? Like, will you cover it up? Like, I mean, because I'm pretty much good with the AKS, EKS, everything containers. I'm pretty much good. But while talking to the other people, they were like they were able to understand. Like first initially, they'll understand the containers also, right? You will cover any containerization topics here, Venkat?
The focus will be when I am going to introduce you the Azure and Azure services. That time I will introduce. Once you have created a pipeline and that pipeline needs to be deployed, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That time we are going to create the containers, okay? There I will
Okay.
introduce the containers, okay?
Okay. Which language you are using to create the pipelines and everything? Like either PowerShell or JSON, AML? Which one you are doing here, or Python?
We will go with Python. I'm okay for anything, but we'll go. Most of the scenarios I have seen that Python will be the PySpark. Python will be the preferred one, but we'll go with Python. If you have a specific, you want to see a particular example in some other programming language or script, I'm happy to use that script also. I will introduce one example based on your requirements. Okay.
Yeah. Because I just want to know that, because if it is a Python, it's well and good. I just want to see the best practice itself. But if in future, if something is a requirement came across, like if I want to build with the PowerShell, or if I want to use any other than this, will it possible or not? I just want to check with you.
And
If
we'll
we
cover.
cover it up one session, that will be pretty much enough with other languages as well.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Any other questions, team, from any one of you? Okay, guys, thank you once again. And just I want to make it clear, as you know that Azure Fabric is a recent technology, especially you understood that business point of view also how it is going to save a lot of I mean, I can say a lot of money for the organization. The shift is going happening right now. So I can say that it's the best utilization for somebody focusing your career on the data engineer and data analyst role. Azure Fabric is going to be right choice. Okay. Thank you once again for your time, for joining
So
me
like,
and spending your time.
Venkat, I have one more small doubt. Sorry to
Yeah,
stop you. Yeah, because we have this one in Fabric and Azure. How do we call it in AWS? What's the name in there? Do we have that?
Azure is still in the AWS environment. I did not created the major pipelines. There also we can use the PySpark only, but the services are different. I mean to say that different services are separate. They don't have a unique solution like Fabric.
Yeah,
Right
that's what.
now,
Yeah, I tried to find it out, but I didn't find in AWS. That's my.
no,
Yeah.
there is no right now. I mean to say maybe they come up with down the line. I don't know, but
Yeah.
right now they don't have right now immediately.
Ah, got it. Got it.
Okay, guys. Thank you once again for your time for joining. Please discuss among yourself and let me know your update so that we can start. Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
once again. Prakash,
Thanks for the brief intro. Thanks for your time.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.